Color case.
67?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Color case. Is 67 the ticket issue? Okay. I'm gonna let you do your thing again. I'm gonna let you do your. I'm gonna let you present your whole case again. You don't want to?
What? I can't
Like
hear this.
like you did it the first time. We're gonna let you do it like you did it the first time.
Okay.
All right.
Were
Go.
you okay with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's my way. It's just faster.
Oh.
All right. Go ahead.
This is item number 67, CTBPR 2018-00073, LeBron Zhang.
Ma'am, go ahead and make your appearance for the record.
Necesito un traductor porque no sé.
Madam Interpreter.
Yes.
¿Cuál es tu nombre? Yadiana Hernandez.
All right. City, go ahead and with your case.
Sí, en la ciudad.
The city would like to call witness Officer Jay Perez. Can you please state your name for the record?
¿Podría decir su nombre para las actas?
My name is Jose Perez.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed with the City of North Miami, Code Compliance Department.
And what is your responsibility as a code compliance department officer?
As a code enforcement officer, my responsibility is to enforce the city ordinances and observe for any open violations throughout the area that I patrol.
And for how long have you been working with the city of North Miami in that position?
I've been working with the City of North Miami for approximately 6 months in
And
the
before then?
capacity. Before this, I was working with the City of Miami Beach as an enforcement officer for approximately 3 years.
Now, on or about December 1st, 2018, did you issue a violation in this case?
Sounds about right.
I'm now going to be showing the violator ticket number 12565. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Officer, I'm showing you the ticket violation in this case. Do you recognize that ticket?
Yes.
Was that ticket issued by you?
Yes.
Was that issued in this case to LeBron Zhang at 15 Northwest 127th Street?
Yes.
Can you please explain to the court the nature of the violation in this ticket?
So the citation was issued for work being done at the property without a permit. They installed a fence.
At this time, the city would like to introduce the ticket into evidence.
Granted.
Officer Perez, did you take photographs in this case?
Yes.
You took photographs of the property?
Yes.
At this time, the city is showing the violator photographs of the property.
Okay.
Do you recognize those photos?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize those photos?
I took said photographs
When did you take those photographs?
on December 1st, 2018 at approximately 12:40 p.m.
Do they depict a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
And what do the photographs depict regarding the fence?
They depict a fence that was installed on the left side of the property as well as a iron fence on the right side of the property.
What kind of material is the fence on the left side of the property made out of?
A wooden fence.
And was that fence there before?
Negative.
Was the fence, the iron fence on the right side of the property, was that there before?
Negative.
And how do you know that?
Well, I patrolled the area actively and I did not see the fences prior to that. I also went and did research on Google Earth that showed images other than what depicted at the moment.
I'm showing the violator a photo of Google Earth of the home.
So in the 6 months that you've been with the city of North of Miami, you had an opportunity to patrol that area before?
Yes, that is my assigned zone.
And in patrolling that area, you've come upon this house before?
Correct.
And you didn't see the gate during those observations of the property?
Prior to that, no.
Okay.
Now, Officer Perez, did you have an opportunity to walk around the property?
Yes, I did.
Did you notice any permits posted anywhere?
No.
Now, is this kind of work, installing a fence, a type of work that you would need a permit for?
Yes.
But there was no permit, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever have an opportunity to speak to the homeowner?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would like to introduce the Google Earth image into evidence along with the photos.
Ma'am, you had an opportunity to view the photos?
The ones that were shown, yes.
And do they accurately
Y ellas
depict the
muestran
condition that exists on your property?
que existe en la propiedad suya. The one that you showed me before? No, the one
All 4 photos?
de las cuatro fotos. Yes.
Okay,
esa,
granted.
se otorga.
This magistrate takes notice of and enters the photographs into evidence. Anything else?
Judge, I have no further questions for this witness.
All right. Ma'am, you've heard the testimony of the witness. Do you have any questions for this witness?
¿Tiene preguntas para el testigo? Yes. We live in Massachusetts, and they have already tried to enter the property. The original fence was placed. We only put some wooden plywood so they wouldn't jump inside the area.
Who is they?
Or plywood. ¿Quiénes son ellos? ¿Quiénes son ellos? I mean, my husband and I work for the owners. And because people have entered the property, cuando usted dice quién, ellos, ¿quiénes son ellos? Que han entrado a la propiedad, ¿quiénes? Some people who jump over there.
Did you guys install the fence?
¿Ustedes instalaron esa cerca? Yes.
All right. Do you have any other testimony? Do you have testimony that you'd like to give other than what's been offered already?
I have a photo of how it was originally. We only placed.
Are your clients new owners of the property?
My boss, yes.
Do you know when they purchased the property?
About 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. She has photos.
Yes, Judge, I don't know if you want an opportunity to look at them.
Do you want me to see the photos you have?
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may inquire, when was the photographs taken? When was her photographs taken?
Today?
That one in the house in the back area.
Are there any photos of the front of the house? Because that's the violation, is the 2 fences in the front.
The ones on the side?
Correct, in the front of the house.
That's the one to the right side. And the one on the left side was already there. When the property was acquired.
Okay. Based upon the evidence and the testimony given, find that the citation was properly issued, uphold said citation. That's it, right? That's all I gotta do, right? So I uphold it, right? That's all. Do I have to give them additional time? Or no? That's what I thought. So all I do is uphold them. Yeah. All right? You gotta get a permit for that.
Okay.
And remember, even if it was there before, violations run with the property. So each owner of the property inherits the violation.
So then I have to ask for permit.
Yep.
And the ticket, I have to pay the ticket?
Yep.
Sí. Okay. Thank you.
Just so you know, it's called an after-the-fact permit. Next case.
The city would like to call item number 60, CTBPR 2018-00070, Julian Aduris.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Julian Aduris, owner of the house located on 235 Northeast 124th Street.
Have you have an opportunity to be acquainted with the violation?
Yes.
And do you object to the violation?
Yes, I hired an architect.
You object because the
Yes.
violation didn't exist at the time that you were cited, or you object because you don't think the violation was fair or something?
I found after he gave me the violation that there was a violation, and so I didn't thought I was violating the code. I hired someone that didn't explain all the procedures to me.
But as we sit today, you understand that the activity that existed at the property at that time was in fact a violation? Is that your understanding?
Right now, I understand. So yes.
And so you're saying that you recognize it was a violation, therefore you don't object to the fact that you received a ticket?
Well, I called the architect that charged me for all these plans that I showed Officer Perez the day he was giving me the ticket.
Seems like you don't want to admit to the violation.
Because I did work before at my house, and I did all the right procedure, but this time I hired an architect. He charged me $4,000 for the plans, and I thought he was going to present it to the city. Verbally, he told me, you can start with the remodeling now on November 2nd.
So you got bad, what you're saying is that you got bad advice.
If I may, he paid someone to submit the permits for him, but they never submitted him.
Here is the.
So but you understood that the work that was being sought required a permit.
Yes, right.
All right. So then you understand that when you got the ticket, it was because there was no permit that existed and the work that required a permit, right?
I found that after I was given the
So
ticket.
here's what he's saying. He's saying that, listen, I know that I had to get a permit for the work that I wanted to get done. I had to get a permit for it. But I hired somebody to do that, and they didn't do it unbeknownst to me. That's what he's saying.
Correct, Judge. That's his relationship with his architect, and that's something that he needs to take up with him. But at the end of the day, there is a violation regarding him getting the work done, and there being a conversion on the property. So if the architect didn't do it, that's something that he needs to take up with the architect. But at the end of the day, he's the property owner,
And so you
and
understand?
he's responsible.
So you understand?
Since then,
What's going
I hired some other person that is charging me more than the original one, and he has already corrected the problem.
All right. But at the time that the violation, at the time the citation was issued, there was in fact a violation, and so the citation was correctly issued. Therefore, I uphold that said citation. All right.
Can you please cut me some rope? I already spent. I'm in debt already.
The architect that you hired to do the work for which he did not do, I would suggest that you get a reimbursement.
He explained to me that his verbal indication to go ahead with the work, that included me going to the city to do the owner builder affidavit. And I thought that me hiring an architect and an engineer to do all these work, that included the permits. And he said on the phone, he told me, no, I was telling you to start with the permits. But I hired the contractor already.
I again suggest that your remedy is with your contractor,
He's already
the previous
done
one. All right? That's my decision. Thank you.
So I have to pay the fine, the $500.
I suggest that you seek reimbursement from the first guy. Next one.
The city would like to call item number 84, CTBPR 2018-00056, Remus Caesar.
See, so imagine if you would have went through your whole testimony and then had to have that conversation.
My name is Remus Cesar. I live on 195 Northeast, 134th Street, North Miami, Florida, 33161.
All
I'm
right.
the owner.
Have you you've been made aware of the citation, correct?
Yes.
And do you have any objection to the
Uh,
citation as it was issued on that day?
No, I don't have any objection. However, and I didn't know when you're going to do work in the.
I'm gonna let you explain, but I'm gonna, based upon the fact that you don't object, I'm upholding the citation. Okay?
Okay.
But you can explain. You can tell me on the record.
Yeah. I didn't know I have to put a permit for the toilet because I already put for the roof and other stuff. And when I were
Why did you think that the toilet was included in the roof and other stuff?
Ignorance. I didn't know, but when the officer let me know, I went immediately to comply with the city ordinance to apply for after the fact permit. And I have everything, it's already there. I just want to ask the judge to waive the fee for me because it's a violation, but I just want under the grace, I just beg for grace. I don't have any income right now.
How much did the permit cost you?
I don't know yet because I have to
I
pull
thought you
for.
said you went immediately there and got the permit.
I
thought you said you immediately went and got the permit.
Yeah, I apply for it.
There's an application fee, right?
After the fact, and I have to pull electrical. I didn't know any electrical thing. They want me to submit.
But there's an application fee, right?
Yeah, there's an application fee.
How much did you pay?
I don't know how much is it right now because they told me it could be 200 and 300 for each, for the electrical, for the plumbing. And the general contractor is the one in charge, put everything. I already pay $1,500.
You've already paid, you said?
The general contractor for plumbing and electrical.
To do the work?
To submit the permit, all the requirement the zoning ask for. And they submit the electrical twice. They couldn't read properly. And this week, the electrician is going to submit it again. And I just talked to Officer Ose, and it's in the system. And I want to comply with the city because I want my city to look beautiful.
Why did you pull a permit for the other things?
There was a general contractor for the roof and for the
Renovation?
shelters. Yes.
You did a renovation? Is that what you were doing?
No, it was a renovation. It was the shelters and the
Oh, the shutters.
the shelters and the roof. There was another general contractor.
I'm gonna keep it as it is.
Can you give me any break? Because immediately I went to complying with I didn't know at the beginning, but as soon as I was aware of it.
I don't see how you could have thought that the toilet would have been included with shutters and a roof.
Because it was under the city program.
Under the city program?
Yes, it's
With the CRA program,
the CRA program.
Educate me.
the city has a program that helps the property owners beautify and renovate their properties.
So it doesn't necessitate them pulling permits?
I'm
do
not aware of how they work. I do know they supply the funds. As to the permitting process and the hiring process, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Your Honor, if I knew,
So-
I will not do anything with her. I promise. It was ignorant.
Sometimes some people make a common sense leap, and I'm willing to see how a person can make that connection. Says, listen, if you had a permit because you were renovating your bathroom, and the city came in and said, he said he was gonna replace the sink, and then he replaced the sink in the toilet, so we fined him for not getting a permit or including the toilet in the permit. I could say, well, he was doing stuff in his bathroom, maybe he thought it was all included. I can make that leap for you. I can make those connections for you. But to tell me that you got a permit for the roof and then a permit for the shutters, I don't see how you would think that that's included. That's all.
it
I
wasn't-
can't make that common sense leap with you.
It wasn't me pull the permit. It was the general contractor was doing the job for the city.
But it's still
Yeah.
it's still a property's owner's responsibility.
Yeah, for the toilet, I didn't know we have to, inside. When I went to the zoning, I said, they give me a date. It's only for the tile. That's why they told me it's only for the tile. And if for painting inside, you don't need to put a permit. But I thought, you didn't need to put a permit for not, if you're adding something, you need a permit. But as soon as they told me that, and I went and complied with the city, that's, I'm not contesting, say, okay, it's not a violation, but I just want to ask you to waive the fee for me because I comply immediately with the ordinance.
No, and I'm not gonna waive the fee. Sorry. All right, that's my decision. Next case.
The city would call item number 71, CTJNK 2018-00004, Marlon Gaitan and Bessie Manuelas Trucios.
My name is Marlon Gaitens. I live in 12155 North Miami Avenue, 33168. I'm the owner of the property.
The city would like to call its witness, Officer Jay Perez. Can you please state your name for the record?
Officer Jose Perez.
And
Let
where
me-
are you employed?
Let me interrupt again. Let me interrupt. Did you make your appearance? All right. Are you objecting to the citation? Are you saying that the violation did not exist when they issued the citation?
Yeah, there exists, because I put my cater or my works on the side of the house. Yeah, that's,
Right.
that's.
Based upon, and with that admission, I uphold the citation. If you want to make any statements for the record, you can.
Yes, that they don't know anymore. I moved already. I rent the warehouse for moving. So, but they put a ticket because they didn't give me no more time. But I don't know how to call him to give him more times. So that's the reason why I call him. So they'll give me more time. So, but right now I moved already. I'm moving to the warehouse the warehouse of my company that I have it.
Okay.
So the cater is no more there in my house.
All right. Thank you. Next case.
Item number 76, CTOSV 2018-00006, Othonio LaBranche and W. Rosaline.
Which number?
Yes, my name is Otonio Lebranche. I'm living 230 Northeast, 123rd Street, North Miami, Florida, 32161.
Okay. You are aware of the violation, correct?
Yes,
And are you denying that the violation existed at the time that they issued the citation?
yeah, I deny because he gave me a violation for the chalk.
You said you deny it?
Yes,
So you're saying that the conditions that they gave you a citation for didn't exist at that time?
no, that means I got a chalk.
Now listen to the
Yeah,
question,
yeah, yeah.
because I want you to answer directly the question
Mhm.
that's being asked. They gave you a citation on a particular day, saying that on that day, this violation existed. Are you saying that it did not exist?
No,
Okay, city.
The city would like to call Jay Perez. Can you please state your name for the record?
Officer Jose Perez
And where are you employed?
with the City of North Miami.
And how long have you been employed at the city of North Miami?
I've been employed with the City of North Miami for approximately 6 months.
And what is your position there?
I am a code enforcement officer.
And prior to that, where were you working?
I was working for the City of Miami Beach for approximately 3 years.
Now, did you ever have any experience with vehicle enforcement in Miami Beach?
Correct. That was my specialty in Miami Beach.
Can you please explain to the court a little bit about that?
So with the city of Miami Beach, I was tasked to enforce vehicle enforcement, such as oversized vehicles, restricted vehicles and areas, as well as enforcing the parking situation at the city of Miami Beach.
So you have some experience with vehicles and their weight amounts in that regard, correct?
Yes.
I'm now showing the violator the ticket issued on November 19,
Let's-
2018.
Let's call him the property owner.
The property owner.
Yeah, I'm appropriate. Yeah, yes, yeah.
May I approach? Officer Perez, is that the ticket that you issued the property owner?
Yes.
And what is the violation on that ticket?
The violation is for an oversized vehicle being stored in a residential area.
And on what date did you issue that violation?
This violation was issued on November 19th, 2018.
The city would like to introduce the ticket into evidence at this time.
This is the ticket that you got, right?
Yes.
All right. The ticket is admitted.
Officer Perez, did you have an opportunity to view the property?
Yes.
And did you take photographs of the property?
Yes.
I'm showing the property owner photographs that were taken of the property.
Yeah, that's.
Sir, these pictures that she's showing you, do they accurately depict the condition that existed at that time?
Yeah, just like that.
May I approach?
Yes, no? Are the pictures accurate?
There's a picture, just like that. You don't see the chalk. That's it. The chalk is. I'm loading my chalk. The chalk not even parked there. I'm just loading the chalk
Okay.
because the chalk is in the storage.
All right,
Yeah, the chalk is in the storage. I just loading the chalk.
okay,
May I approach, Judge?
yes.
Officer Perez, can you please take a look at these photographs? When were these photographs taken by you?
The first one was taken August 31st, 2018, when I first observed violation. On August 31st, 2018, I issued a warning for that photograph. On the second photograph, we're now on November 19th, 2018, and these are photographs of the same truck at the property again. On the final photograph, we have the citation that was posted, as well as the resident taking the citation off the door.
Now, do you know the weight amount of that truck that's on that property?
The weight amount of that vehicle is over 1.5 tons.
And how do you know that?
With my prior experience as a enforcement officer for the city of Miami Beach, I have the knowledge and experience for that, as well as the weight class for that vehicle is above that of an F-350, which would be the maximum of 1.5 tons allowed in the city of North Miami.
Did you have any special training with the city of your prior occupation?
Yes, I did.
Can you please explain to the court a little bit about that training?
So with the city of Miami Beach, they have active training and showings of what the violations are and how to enforce them, as well as the vehicle category sizes for the oversized vehicle training.
Now, while you were there, did you ever notice anybody unloading any items from that truck?
Negative, there was no one unloading the truck at the time of the violation.
Your Honor, I'm showing the property owner 2 more photographs of the property on a different date.
Yeah, because anytime the truck in the storage, okay? And then if he just passed by, you see the truck parked, and then I'm finished loading the truck. I went inside my house to take the truck and the storage. He just take the picture like that. Because this guy, he like a 2 hour in my yard, you know. Park his car.
We'll get to that in a minute, but
Yeah.
that's your home, right?
Yes,
In a photo, and that's the vehicle, right?
yeah. The vehicle not there. It's not there. I just load the vehicle and then bring the
give you an
vehicle back to the.
I'll
the
give you an
store.
opportunity.
Yes.
If I may,
Officer Perez, I've passed up photographs of the date December 8th. Do you recognize those photos?
yes,
Did you take those photographs?
yes,
Are they a fair and accurate depiction of the photographs that you took on December 8th of the property?
yes.
The city would like to introduce all photographs into evidence, Your Honor.
Photographs are thereby admitted.
Can you please explain What's depicted in the photographs?
So on the final photograph that we passed up, what we see is a vehicle again being stored on December 8th, 2018. This was now, again, a violation after the fact of the civil violation ticket that was issued.
Now, on December 8th, the latest photographs that we just witnessed here, did you see anybody unloading anything from the truck?
No, it was stationed there several hours prior to that,
And how do you know that?
because it took me about an hour between my research and the issuance of the other citations that I did at that block.
So on August 31st, November 19, and December 8th, you witnessed that truck on that property, correct?
Yes,
And on
Miss-
August 31st, November 19, and December 8th, there was no unloading at any time of that truck, correct?
correct.
Mr. Perez,
Yes, sir.
this home is within your zone.
Yes, sir. It's my assigned zone.
You've had an opportunity prior to these particular sightings. Had you have an opportunity to observe this property?
Yes, and I have given several warnings prior to that.
Have you ever seen any other vehicle parked in that space where the truck is at?
Yes, different vehicles.
So there are vehicles that are parked in that space other than the truck.
Yes, the truck comes and goes.
Mr. LaBranche, you have any questions for this witness?
My question is, okay, I've been living there for 30 years, you know.
You've been
30
a who?
years. Yeah, I've been living over there for 30
Okay.
years. And then I got a flea market business, you know. So my truck in the store, I just get the truck and load the truck, you know. So I have to bring the truck back to the storage, you know.
What's the storage? What
I'm
storage
working
you
for the Miami-Dade County Public School, you know. So my truck in the store at the school garage, yeah.
You store this truck at the schoolyard?
Yeah.
Do you have any special permission to
Yeah,
store it?
the director, yeah, the director give it to.
Do you have anything in writing?
No, I can't call because my truck is in the storage right now. The school, the job is open. My truck in the storage right now at the school.
You store it overnight?
Yeah, overnight, day and night. Day
And
and night.
Judge, if I may, under, if Your Honor can take judicial notice, Chapter 29, 5-1406D, no truck in excess of 1.5 ton load capacity shall be stored or parked. Clearly here, we see that it's been parked in any residential area of the city unless said truck is actively engaged in the loading or unloading of materials. Here you have the officer who testified that in the 3 different instances where the property owner had the truck on property, it was parked. We're not necessarily considering where it's stored. Here we're going under subsection D where we're talking about it was parked and there was no actively unloading. So therefore, he is in violation of this code.
I mean, even in the photos, you don't see nobody doing anything.
Correct. And under Florida Statute 30 on the parking violations, it is also a violation to have the vehicle in a residential area.
May I ask you a question?
So you're not even supposed to be riding a vehicle in a residential area.
Correct.
Can I ask you a question?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I park my truck in the storage. Okay, I'm working for the country. Okay.
Okay.
So when I bring my truck back in the storage, so the truck is still like for 15, 20 minutes, you know. So, and I'm go back to work, bring my truck to the storage, you know. It might be past see the truck for for 10, 15 minutes, you know.
I think there's 2 things that the city is trying to make you aware of.
No, because I don't leave the
What?
truck overnight.
You wanted me to address it,
Yeah.
so now I'm going to address it.
Yes.
All right? There's 2 things for which the city is trying to make you aware of. One, that the state, right, there's a statute that says a vehicle of your weight should not be driven within residential areas, which means that you're not to use the roads in the residential areas with that type of vehicle because it is too heavy for the roads and causes damage to the roads. Secondly, the city code says you can't park it here unless you're loading or unloading. And each time, it's been the testimony of the officer that each time that he's come to you about the issue or he's looked at the issue, there was no loading or unloading activity occurring at the time. And he's provided photos that shows that even when he took the photos, there was currently no loading or unloading that was occurring at that time.
I understand. I understand
So
that.
it's not a storage. It's not a storage issue.
No, but
They're saying that one, you can't be driving that truck in the neighborhood,
no.
and two, you definitely can't be parked there unless you're loading and unloading. And each
See-
time you weren't doing either.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Anytime if you see the truck, that's how I'm loading the truck, and then I'm finished loading the truck, then I'm gonna take a truck back to where I'm working. You know, so that's it.
If I may clarify, the Florida statute indicates to the parking, not the
Right.
driving of
Right.
the truck.
That's the issue, is that the trucks are too heavy to be on the roads in those particular areas. All right. So that's your issue. Okay, you can't park it there. You can't park it there. That's bottom
No,
line.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm just pass by, with the truck. But I'm not leave the truck there. I'm not leave the truck there because I know it's not looking good for me, for nobody to leave my truck there. But my truck's not there. I just passed by. Just passed by. By the time you passed by, I just passed by. I didn't leave the truck there. Truck wasn't there. How many times you pass? You see the truck there? No, the truck is in the storage.
I uphold the citation based on testimony heard and evidence presented. I uphold the citation. All right. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
He wasn't loading or unloading. The city ordinance says you have to be loading or unloading. Okay, you're trying to see them in conjunction with one another. You're looking at them in conjunction with one another. Well, at least in one occasion it was over an hour. I mean, that's your discretion. I mean, technically, that's all the enforcement officer's discretion. Next case.
Item number 56, CTRE 2018-00005, Jonathan Como.
Which number again?
Item number 56.
Good morning.
Good
Happy
morning.
holidays. My name is Jonathan Como. I am the homeowner at 380 Northwest 131st Street,
Okay.
North Miami, Florida 33168.
All right. Tree removal without valid permit on file. All right. Are you objecting to the fact that a violation existed at the time of citation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So at the time of this citation was given, you had already obtained a permit for the removal of the tree,
No,
because that's what we're here for.
I understand. Our argument is actually, well, one, we weren't aware that we needed a permit to remove a tree, but then the second part of the argument is we do not believe it is a tree.
You don't
We
believe
think
it's
it's
a
a
tree?
shrub, which we have also pictures, and I have also researched
See, I was going
this.
to, first one I was like, but the second one, it's a little
We believe
interesting.
it's actually called a cypress shrub, which I have pictures matching some documentation here.
A tree by any other name.
Yes. It looks, basically looks
still
like
a
a
tree?
Christmas tree.
All right, let's see the pictures.
So here's all of the research that I have. Should I provide it to you? Here are the photographs.
Let me see if it's just evident based on the photographs as to whether it's a tree or a shrub.
And you'll see in those photographs that we are trying our best to uphold your Keep North Miami Beautiful. We're trying to make our property as beautiful as possible. You'll see the last picture is the most current picture of our property. The first ones are of the original condition that we received it in.
This is the tree or the shrub?
No, that's actually another tree that was next to the shrub that we have cleaned up and kept. We actually still have that tree.
Any pictures of the shrub?
Of the original shrub
Yeah,
itself,
yeah.
I have pictures from actually a real estate website that showed the tree.
So basically, these are after the fact pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to show that we're trying to make an effort to make the property as beautiful as possible. But I can show you.
Right, we want to obtain beautification that is code compliant.
Absolutely. I have a picture of the shrub in question on my phone, if you'd like to see that.
Sure. Does the city have any pictures of the shrub in question?
Yes, Your Honor.
Show the property owner first.
Yes. And also, I wanted to also bring up the second part of this. I believe it was Officer Perez, he came, he spray painted the stump of where the shrub was originally at. Then he also spray painted part of the bulk pickup that we had put on the side of the road for pickup. The vast majority of that pickup was not from the shrub. It was from cherry bushes that were lining the west side of our property against the sidewalk, where we currently put in a new fence. So I can understand the confusion as he's showing up and he's seeing a huge pile, but he's thinking that it's from one tree. It's actually from multiple bushes that were lining our property that we removed on the same day.
Awesome.
And Judge, I'm passing up photos that were taken November 8th, and also 2 images of the front and back of the property from June 2018 that shows the before, where the tree was added.
So these are depicting what?
That depicts, that's the Google image, that depicts photographs of the property from June 2018. I wanted Your Honor to get a view of what it looked like before.
Where's the shrub?
And
or
the tree is in the back of the house, Judge.
So this is not a picture of the back of the house. It's not among these plants.
Those are some of the cherry bushes that were lining my property that I was talking about.
Right.
I actually have a picture it's actually from Realtor.com of the actual shrub. It's looking right at the shrub, and you see the bushes in the back.
And when was this taken, this photograph? I mean, we don't know when that photo was taken, but the Google Earth image was taken June 2018, a couple of months ago.
This is June 2018.
Okay.
I'm already thinking to myself, that's a pretty thick stump for a shrub.
It is, and I can understand your thinking. Our thinking when we were removing it, we saw that basically half of that shrub was already dead. I don't know if you can see on the one picture where we're taking it down, basically the back half of the entire stump is black, brown, it's dead. So we were just trying to make our yard as beautiful as possible. We weren't aware that we needed to get a permit to
Are you
remove
talking
trees. Yeah, you can't zoom in on it.
Yeah, it won't let me zoom
It's
in.
the taller, skinnier tree. The taller,
With the-
skinnier
with
one.
the- With the brown stuff in like it's dead at the top?
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually familiar with that, and I would probably consider that a tree as well.
I can understand. We have,
I actually have a tree like that in my yard. My grandma had one too. That's why I had it planted. So yeah, I'm gonna consider that a tree. And there was no permit. If there was no permit that existed at the time that it was removed, then ticket was proper.
well, how would I be able to prove, for instance, if I had a sampling of that shrub, would I be able to?
Who would you be relying on to determine whether it was a tree or a shrub? See,
Well-
because the city's position is that it's a tree, right? It's tall enough. It's got a thick base. They're saying, listen, this is a tree. You're saying, listen, this isn't a tree, this is a shrub. What do you have other than you're pronouncing that it to be a shrub, that is in fact a shrub?
Well, I have research. I have pictures. I have articles that show it's a shrub. I have pictures that almost match identically the picture from my property of that tree that shows that it's a shrub. We were thinking about actually bringing in a sample, but obviously you wouldn't be able to test it to find out if it was a tree or a shrub here.
All right,
at
let's
this
have this
moment.
hearing. Go ahead. Let's have the hearing. Go ahead.
The city would like to call Officer Perez. Officer Perez, can you please state your name for the record?
Officer Jose Perez.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed with the City of North Miami.
And how long have you been employed at the city of North Miami?
I've been employed with the City of North Miami for approximately 6 months.
And what is your position there?
I am a code enforcement officer.
And before that, where did you work?
I worked for the City of Miami Beach for approximately 3 years.
And what were your duties there?
I was an enforcement officer in the capacity of vehicle enforcement.
Now, these past 6 months that you've been working at the city of North Miami, can you please tell us a little bit about what you do?
I patrolled my assigned zone and I observed for any open violations that need to be addressed. I
Now-
also
Go ahead, sorry.
issue citations for said violations.
Now, in your experience these past 6 months, have you ever issued or come across any tickets for section 29.52301, tree removal without a valid permit?
Yes, several.
Several, okay. I'm now showing the homeowner the ticket violation in this case, 12554. May I approach?
Let me ask you a question while I was doing that. How do you know whether a particular tree requires a permit?
Under the section code, it doesn't state what type of trees need to require a permit. They just state that you need a permit to remove a tree.
Does the code specify any vegetation in terms of height or width, or does it say what type of breeds, anything? Does it give any clarity such as that?
It does not specify. The only exceptions are for protected trees. At that point, it will be considered tree abuse, as well as tree removal without a permit.
So it's your best guess at the time.
Well, prior, we had an arborist working for the city, and they would make the determination. But as far as I'm aware of, we don't have an arborist. We have a third-party vendor that does the inspections now.
But that didn't occur here.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, City.
Officer Perez, can you please tell the court how you came into the ticket violation?
I was patrolling my area looking for bulk trash violations, was around the time for the bulk trash pickup. That's when I came across the bulk trash overage, at which point I noticed it was a fresh cut on the limbs that were placed in the swale area. I also inspected the property and I found the stump of said tree on the property.
I'm now showing the homeowner 4 photographs of his property. May I approach? Officer Perez, I'm showing you 4 photographs. When were you the person that took these pictures?
Yes,
When did you take these pictures?
on November 8th, 2018 at approximately 2:36 p.m.
And what do the photographs depict?
They depict the tree stump of said tree, as well as an overage of bulk trash with just tree debris, as in limbs and branches.
Now, when you first approached the property, what was it that called your attention to the area?
The overage of the debris.
Can you explain to the court where the tree was actually cut on the property?
On the side of the property, as in the west side of the property.
And there are some markings on the trees and in those photos. I believe it's orange spray paint. Can you explain what that is?
So the orange spray paint on the debris in the swell area was sprayed to notify the waste haulers not to pick up said pile because it is over and the city was not going to allow it to be picked up. And the tree stump was sprayed to differ the stump from the background to make it noticeable in the pictures.
Now, could you tell by what you observed that day how fresh the cuts were?
They appeared to be very fresh. It was a very recent cut to the tree.
And how do you know that?
It was still very bright brown towards the khaki color, and it was very, the leaves were very, much so that they were still in color, they were still alive, they hadn't turned brown yet.
Now, there's another tree depicted in that photograph that's not the said tree in question. Do you consider that to be a tree? If you can look through the photographs?
Yes,
Okay. And do you consider the tree, the said tree in question to be a tree on the property owner's backyard?
yes.
And why is that?
The size of the stump as well as the size of the debris, normally when it's a tree, it has a very large and thick stump as seen in the photographs.
Now, you stated that you've had several encounters as a code enforcement officer these past 6 months with giving the citation of tree removal without a permit, correct?
Yes,
Now, in those situations, when you encountered trees, did they look similar or somewhat similar to the actual said cut tree in question?
yes,
So you determined those to be trees, correct?
yes,
And in this case, you determined that to be a tree as well?
correct.
Now, did you have an opportunity to walk around the property?
Yes,
And did you notice if there was a permit posted anywhere?
no, there was not.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the city would like to introduce the photographs into evidence along with the ticket.
So admitted.
I'm now showing the property owner another photograph. May I approach?
Yes.
Officer Perez, I'm showing
You are free to walk about the room.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm showing you a Google Earth image from June 2018. Do you see that photograph?
Yes,
Now, does that show is that a fair and accurate depiction of the backyard area of the said property?
yes, prior to it being cut.
Okay. Now, do you see the tree when it was still alive in that photo?
Yes,
And would you consider it to be a tree there now that you've seen it alive in that photograph?
yes, I would.
Can you put an arrow on the photograph as to which tree we're talking about?
If I- Now, do you notice a stump in that photograph of the said tree?
Yes, I do.
And you can tell it's a stump because it's quite large, correct?
Yes,
And we can see from that image that we're a little backed up in the Google Earth image.
correct.
Judge, the city would like to introduce the Google image into evidence, please.
Do you agree? Do you agree that this is the tree in question, the circle, or the slash shrub, the one that's circled?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Was the thing that you cut down approximately that height?
It looked it wasn't that high. It didn't look like it went over the bushes that much. I would say it was comparable to the height of the other tree that's still standing.
But that's the tree. We can all agree
I
that
think
that's
so,
the
yeah,
tree?
I think so, yes.
All right. Or the shrub. All right. So admitted.
I have no further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Camus?
Come on.
Come on. Any questions for the witness?
No, I don't think so.
Your testimony?
I would just like to state that we,
I mean, if you want to introduce anything, if you want me to consider anything, this is the time.
oh, well, in our research about the cypress shrub, to come back to that, we found that it can reach a height of over 12 feet, up to 15 feet, which shows the height of that tree. Again, we're going to go another step further to bring in a sample of the tree to actually scientifically prove that it was a shrub. I know that I keep calling it a tree.
What what makes something a shrub versus a tree?
Well, it's just how it's categorized through its genetic makeup. Either a tree it can look like a tree, and it can actually be a shrub. For instance, these shrubs are categorized as Christmas trees. They look like Christmas trees, but they're actually considered a arborvitae shrub.
And where are you quoting from?
This is from the University of Florida Department of Food and Science.
And do they show a picture or a sample of what they're?
Yes, they do. I also have another from the South Florida Plant Guide, which has a picture and some information in regards to the arborvitae shrub.
Show the city.
Judge, court's indulgence if I take a read.
We getting judicial up in this mug, boy.
Your Honor, as you can see from those most recent pictures, we've put in a very nice, beautiful new fence in place of where those bushes were. All we were trying to do was make our property as beautiful as possible, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Once again, this magistrate, and I'm sure the city as well, has no issue with a property owner wanting to beautify their property. I think that the city just asks that when homeowners do such, that they do it within the boundaries of the code.
And Judge, if I may, there is a definition in the chapter that I'm taking a look at.
What about what he gave you first?
What he gave me, I believe that is a shrub. I do not believe that that is equivalent of a tree, which is what he actually cut in this case.
What he's saying is that what was cut is this thing.
I disagree with that, Your Honor, and I disagree with that based on the photographs of the Google Earth image that shows us the before, in addition, the after of how thick that tree stump is.
All right, I'm gonna take a look at what he's provided.
So, I'm sorry?
I'm gonna take a look at what he's provided.
Okay. Would Your Honor like me to read the definition or
Definition
of what a tree is under the chapter of the Miami Municipal Code?
Sure.
Tree means any self-supporting woody plant or palm which usually has a single main axis or
I'm gonna just say
trunk
that we could have started there.
with a minimum trunk diameter at breast height of 2 inches and a minimum overall height of 12 feet. This definition excludes plants which are defined as shrubs, hedges, vines, or ground covers. Palms shall have a minimum height of 14 feet in order to be classified as a tree.
Stop. Says it includes shrubs. There you go. Take it uphill. Code includes shrubs. The statute includes shrubs. There you go.
So, Judge, it
Whether this is a tree or whether this is a shrub,
It
Oh, it excluded.
excludes,
Oh.
yes, it
Dang it.
excludes. But the point is
Almost.
that it's definitely 2 inches a minimum and over 12 feet based on the photos. And if you'd like, I can pass up the photos that are already into evidence.
I can't. I mean, width and feet are factual things that would need more than just a picture of me saying that that's what it is. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, Judge, photographs are also considered evidence.
Absolutely. But a photograph can't tell me that something's 12 feet.
But you can definitely tell by the photograph that there is.
That is tall. That's what I can tell from a photograph.
Definitely that it's taller than his home. And I can elicit testimony from Officer Perez as to his height, the height of the home, and whether Your Honor would think it's possible and accurate that this tree was definitely minimum.
I consider that.
Okay.
So let me ask you this: this tree,
This
which
shrub.
Is which is what I have in my yard too. Just have a smaller version of it. Mine's new. That this is the one that's in question. Are you saying no? That you don't believe that what was cut down is this?
No, Judge, it's totally different from the photo
Okay.
that he had,
Great. It is kind of different from the Google photo.
and also from the trunk as to how thick it is.
Okay. You're right.
Your Honor, here in my documentation, I have, for instance, how high this shrub can go, but I don't have the width of the trunk of how.
But remember, if it goes even, read me the statute again.
Yes. Minimum 12 feet.
Even if even if it's scientifically categorized as a shrub, it can't go over 12 feet, or else it's a tree.
Correct. Tree means any self-supporting woody plant or palm which usually has a single main axis or trunk with a minimum trunk diameter at breast height of 2 inches and a minimum overall height of 12 feet. And that excludes a shrub. Hedges, vines.
Well, because, okay, I can see why it excludes. I don't know why it would exclude a shrub. A shrub can have a singular trunk.
Judge, I can make the argument that it would exclude the shrub because just like everything that it's excluded in this section, hedges, vines, ground covers, shrubs, these are all small items. These are all the things that Officer Perez, when he came by the area, saw that was on the side of the road. This wasn't construed and meant to be written in a way that it's going to include a huge shrub that the property owner wants us to believe is not a tree.
What the statute is saying, this is how we define a tree, unless it's a shrub or a hedge or something else. So conceivably, if the property owner says, listen, scientifically, this 15-foot thing is technically categorized scientifically as a shrub, it just grows that high, but it still can, within the community, scientific community, is considered a shrub, then the statute has excluded shrubs. So the statute seems like the statute doesn't believe shrubs can grow very high.
Not the way that it's written, Your Honor. And the way that it appears in this case, his tree is a tree. It's not a shrub.
Okay.
Is the city's position.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see the photo, the Google photo again.
Yes.
And then I'm going to make my decision. So we can move on to the other 5 cases.
Only one left.
Oh, only one left? Oh, okay. Right. Jonathan, I might have to say that this Google one does not look like the other ones in the photo you gave me.
Which is that? Is that a Google Earth?
Yeah, the Google Earth one doesn't look like the photos that you gave me
May I see it?
of the scientific research you did.
What about this picture that I showed you of the, from inside the property looking directly at that tree?
Let me see that one again.